up, guys? Welcome to the vlog. Today we're going to be looking at my car collection that is worth $1 million. And I'm super excited to announce I am partnering with Omaze to offer you the chance to win a custom Tesla Model X Performance and $20,000. Taxes and shipping are included, and even better is every donation goes to a good cause. All you have to do is go to omaze.com/Carter, enter for your chance to win. As you guys know, I absolutely love cars, and ever since the start of my YouTube career in 2017, I've been collecting cars one by one. And guys, none of this would ever be possible if it wasn't for your support. You guys subscribing, watching my content has made all my wildest dreams come true, including my car collection. So guys, I want to thank you so much for all your support over the years and making my life incredible. And today we're gonna have an awesome video. Guys, we're gonna be going through each one of my cars, starting from the cheapest one and ending on the most expensive car. So guys, let's get started with the cheapest car I own. Woo! All right, coming in, car number one is a 2014 smart car. This thing is quite small. This little car is actually really cool. We originally got it for when Liz filmed The Last to Leave Smart Car Keeps It, where the next day we bought this one for the winner to keep that car. And we didn't think we were gonna keep it too long. We figured that we would get this car, maybe do some fun videos with it and get rid of it, but we actually ended up keeping it because it's a really fun car to drive around town. It's so easy to park. Let's take a close look at this thing, guys. The door is probably the biggest door out of any car I have, even though it's the smallest car. And if you look inside, it only sits 2 people, so there's not a whole lot of room in here. You know, you just sit in, you got one person for the driver, and not a whole lot of cubby space or anything like that, but it is like a little golf cart riding around town. And surprisingly, we actually have been able to fit more than 2 people in this car. We've gotten up to 4 people in this little car because the trunk space is actually quite large. If you guys remember from the video, we were like all over. I think we had like 4 or 5 people in here. It was a lot of fun. The driving experience of this little smart car is actually quite impressive. I didn't think that it would handle like a normal car, given that it's just so small and the wheels are so small, but it actually drives extremely well. And that's part of the reason why I enjoy driving this car around town. And the best part is about this car is because it's so small, it makes parking so easy. And of course, living in LA, parking is always a challenge, but not with this car. So that's why I actually do really like this car, and I'm glad we didn't destroy it and we kept it, and we can use it around town. Car number one, the 2014 smart car, comes in at a whopping $5,500. Moving on to car number 2. I truly believe this next car is the dumbest car that you can buy, and surprisingly, it somehow costs more than the smart car. Without further ado, car number 2 is this thing. This is literally the dumbest car. Guys, let me give you a quick tour of this thing. There's actually some cool features given how dumb it is. It has suicide doors that open backwards, and just like the smart car, the doors are huge. It actually does look a little bit like the smart car, but this thing is nowhere near as fast as the smart car. Let me show you. Here we go, going full throttle. The driving experience on this car is unlike none other. That is because there's actually no gas pedals, and it's all driven from the steering wheel right here. This is the gas. When you push it like this, it starts moving forward, and you can start driving around, not super fast. And you want to slow down, you just let go. There's actually no brakes. And if you want to go in reverse, you push forward like that, and well, it beeps and you go in reverse. There are some other little handy features by going low gear, high gear, blinkers, left and right, and you can also turn down the speed in case you wanted to go even slower, like super slow. And believe it or not, this little tiny car also is equipped with windshield wipers, as if you would be going out on a stormy or rainy day driving this little car around town. So this little car, just like the smart car, was also the influence of Liz. She got this car for a video that she was filming where she surprised Ryan with his dream car as a complete joke, because I don't think this car would be anybody's dream car. But we surprised him with it anyway. So guys, technically this is Ryan's car, but he doesn't really drive it around town too much because, well, it goes too slow, and it just kind of lives here in the backyard of the Timar house, where it is a little bit fun driving around with the go-karts. It's amazing to think that we spent more money on this thing than we did a smart car. This tiny little red car comes in at a whopping $7,000. Guys, believe it or not, this thing is significantly more expensive than the first car, the smart car. And so if you didn't think it was dumb, you think it's dumb now at $7,000? I'm still scratching my head at why we decided to buy this thing. Moving on to the the next vehicle. And guys, if you were wondering how this collection of cars is going to add up to $1 million, you're just gonna have to hang in with me because each car is gonna be more expensive than the last. So let's move on to vehicle number 3. And this one only has 2 wheels. This is vehicle number 3, which is a motorcycle. This is my KTM 500 EXCF, which means it is a dual sport motorcycle, which means that it's legal to drive on the road, unlike Ryan's little red car, which is only rated for sidewalks. I can actually drive this on the road, on the highway, anywhere I want because it is in fact street legal. It is equipped with blinkers on the back and license plate taillight. The best part about this bike is that it is street legal, which means I can drive it anywhere on the road, which is highways, back roads, anywhere a normal car would go. And because it is literally just a dirt bike, I can also drive it off-road. And as you guys know, I grew up riding dirt bikes, and one of my first ever videos was jumping a dirt bike over a Lamborghini. So of course, guys, now that I'm out here in LA, I need a dirt bike, and why not get one that you can ride on the roads? Let's go take this thing out on a test drive. It is a lot of fun. It's also a really big bike. As you can see, I can barely even touch the ground. And because it's 500cc, this thing has a ton of power, which means it's really fast. It also has electric start, so I don't have to kick it. All right, let's get out to the road. Woo! Let's go on a test drive, guys. This bike is a lot of fun to ride. I don't actually use it a whole lot, but when I do, it is really nice to go out. I actually think it would be a lot more fun to ride this bike off-road than on-road because I grew up in Virginia and I grew up off-roading ATVs and dirt bikes, so this bike makes me feel a little bit more at home. Vehicle number 3, the KTM 500, comes in at a $14,500 price tag, which puts it at twice as expensive as the little red car and almost 3 times as expensive as the smart car. So you can either have this or 3 smart cars. What would you rather have? Moving on to car number 4. I'm really excited about this next one because this car is one of my absolute favorites of all time. The value of each of these cars moving forward is gonna start to skyrocket, but this one really isn't the most expensive. I love this car because of its price point and because of how absolutely unique this one is. If you haven't seen this car, you're about to be in for a real treat. Guys, this is a 1964 Volkswagen Dune Buggy. This 1964 Volkswagen Dune Buggy has a fascinating story of how I first picked it up. On the very first day that we moved into the old Team Rar house was the same exact day that I purchased this car. Since then, I have done a ton with this Dune Buggy, driving all the way around town, taking it to the beach, and even to the sand dunes. And to my amazement, this almost 60-year-old vehicle actually did extremely well on the sand dunes. I was able to climb up the steepest hills and even jump it a little bit. That was until I completely smashed it, rolled it over. Oh wait, hang on. No, I'm remembering that wrong. That was Liz who rolled over. At $20,000, no doors, no roof, 4 seats. This thing is a blast to drive around town. It turns a lot of heads, and that is why it is one of my favorite cars. You guys probably love cars just as much as me. That's why I'm so excited to have partnered with Omaze to offer you the chance to win a custom Tesla Model X Performance and $20,000. This Tesla is customized with 22-inch black wheels, a carbon fiber spoiler, a matte white wrap, red leather accents, and much more. By donating, you'll help the Juju Foundation. They are a nonprofit organization dedicated to the support of youth initiatives and lifting the spirits of those in need. Car number 5, this is by far the most luxurious, fully loaded car, and it makes sense because I got this straight off of the showroom floor on a video that I filmed just about 1 year ago. This car was originally bought as a prize for Stove, who won last to leave the lion cage, which was a $100,000 grand prize. So I went out, instead of giving him cash, I bought him this car for over $100,000. Some of my favorite features include the backup camera with a 360 view, which is so cool, and also seats that have a massage function. You can literally get a back massage as you drive this car around town. It is so luxurious. I could literally go on for days about all the features included in this luxurious Lincoln Navigator, but we have some really exciting cars back home with huge price tags that I'm really excited to show you. So let's get back home and move on to the next car. This next car is so huge, so massive, you can literally drive over other cars with it and crush them. And I actually did that. This car is the Hummer H1 Alpha, and it is absolutely massive. At over 7 feet wide, the Hummer is literally wider than the Smart Car is long. Seriously guys, the H1 Hummer is so big. Look at the size of this wheel. When I stand up, it literally goes next to my waist. This thing is huge. Even climbing into this thing is a bit of a challenge because the seat height is very high off the ground and there's no step. Let's go ahead and start this diesel turbo engine. This thing is so big, everything is a tight squeeze when driving this car. Oh, just barely. All right, this thing is really big, but it's also a lot of fun to drive. The Hummer is also super wide on the inside of the car. Seriously, I can't even reach over and touch the passenger seat. I mean, I can if I lean, okay, like that, but that's ridiculous. It is so wide. The back seats are no different. They are super wide as well, and there's also this like huge flat spot, which is essentially the size of like a dinner table. I can just sit in the middle. You can sit maybe 4 people across the back of this thing. That being said, look at how much room Matt has. He's sitting in the passenger seat, and you're kind of squished in there. I mean, you're like literally in a different time zone over here than the driver over here because there's so much space. Enough to literally sit. I can sit here, someone can sit here. We can sit 4 people across the rear of this thing without any problems. Some of you might remember we even filled the back of this Hummer with water and made a hot tub and took it through a drive-thru. A couple cool features about this Hummer is the CTIS, the Central Tire Inflation System, which means you can inflate and deflate your tires while you're driving with the push of a button on the dash. The second cool feature is this hook right here and this hook. Those are designed to tie a parachute so you can drop this thing from a helicopter or a cargo plane. Car number 6 is the 2004 Hummer H1 Alpha with a price tag of $150,000. That's the equivalent of almost 30 Smart Cars or 7.5 Dune Buggies. Let's move on to the next car. The second to last car on this list is by far the most ridiculous. It's hard to get into, it's hard to get out to, it's almost impossible to drive, and it literally looks like a spaceship. It is also the second most expensive car I own. Guys, this is a 1985 Lamborghini Countach, and this thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculously cool, but also ridiculous in every other way. It's got butterfly doors like a proper Lamborghini should. One interesting fact about the Countach is it is the first model in Lamborghini history to ever feature the scissor doors. Let me show you how you hop in this thing, and hopefully, and no promises, hopefully we can start this thing up, because after all, it is an old Lamborghini, and old Lamborghinis are extremely temperamental, and as you guys know, this thing has been in the shop a lot. But let's hop in. You gotta put one leg in here, lower yourself down onto this section here, and then put your other foot in like this. And there's really not much room. These were definitely not built for someone as tall as I am. And then I gotta lean down, reposition the steering wheel, and I guess we should see if it'll start. I honestly doubt that it's going to start, but let's keep our fingers crossed. I can't believe it, but it actually just started. Let me show you why this thing is so incredibly hard to drive. This is what my view looks like out the front. I can barely see over the hood of this thing, and my view out the back, well, it's even worse. And if I close the door, this is my view out the side. I really can't see much, and I'm sitting in here like a lounge chair. So this thing is my least favorite car of all time to actually drive because it's just so hard. But if you do need to drive it, the best way to do it is to climb up like this and sit on the side so you can see over the roof. And then from here, you can actually drive it just like this. Guys, that's as far as I want to drive it today, because in order to get it in and out of the driveway, I had to use 3 2x4s. Owning an old Lamborghini like this is actually very stressful, and believe it or not, one day someone jumped over my fence and ripped off the Lamborghini badge right off the hood of my car. So I went to Lamborghini.com, I was able to order an original one. So let's go ahead and put that back on the car, make it back to its original state. So it's supposed to sit on like that, but it doesn't really stay. So let's just like tape it on. All right. That looks good as new. This Lamborghini Countach has a price tag of $175,000, making it the second most expensive car that I own. Which leaves us with the last and final, the most expensive car I own. It's actually sitting right there. come on over this way, guys. This over here is the newest addition to my car collection. This is a 2017 Lamborghini Aventador S, and this thing is the most insane car that I own. This Aventador has over 700 horsepower and is super scary. Let me show you what it sounds like just by starting it up. Alright, very slowly going out the driveway. I have the front axle lifter on, which the Countach does not have, hence... We're scraping that. I don't like that. I think it's the extra weight in the car. You must have gained weight. It's sagging the suspension. Just a little scrape, it's okay. So you can imagine how bad the Countach is without the axle lifter. It will literally rip the bumper off trying to get in and out of the driveway. So that is another reason why I don't drive it too much. Driving this car is not a whole lot different than driving a spaceship. It's extremely fast, extremely loud, and you're just strapped into like a rocket. Since this Aventador has a V12 engine, it goes through fuel really fast, so we're constantly making trips to the gas station to fill it up. And of course, a Lamborghini has to take premium fuel. This car really is super intense, and that is exactly why I wanted to add this to my collection. This Lamborghini is the last on the list because it is the most expensive car I own by far. With a price tag of almost $500,000, this thing is worth $495,000. So instead of buying this, you could have 90 smart cars, or 25 Dune Buggies, or 35 dirt bikes. What would you rather have? Hey guys, I'm super excited to be partnering with Omaze to offer you the chance to win your very own custom Tesla Model X Performance and $20,000. And of course, taxes and shipping are included. All you have to do is go to omaze.com/Carter and enter for your chance to win. And the best part of all this, guys, is that every donation goes to support the Juju Foundation, which is Juju Smith-Schuster of the Pittsburgh Steelers, charity that supports kids and youth across the nation. So what are you guys waiting for? Go to omaze.com/Carter, donate, and good luck. Well, there you have it, guys. That is my current car collection, and I feel so thankful and lucky to be able to do what I do. And at the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to do any of this or have any of these cars if it wasn't for each and every single one of you. And thank you guys so much for watching my YouTube videos and subscribing to the channel. And if you guys are new here, welcome. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you guys on the next vlog. Peace. What car is your favorite?
The one that you're gonna buy me.
Wait. Who says I was gonna buy you a car? What?
I think that one looks really classy, but the Dune Buggy is the best.
I mean, Matt, if you want me to buy you a car, there are some really junky cars out there.